what you're doing, I ain't mad at you. I'm just wishing that I had that too. Some days I wish I was more like you. Your certainty, your attitude. Keep doing what you're doing, I ain't mad at you. Just to know you, I'm glad I do. I want you to view yourself the way you see me. When you're feeling alone, I'll be your sanctuary, yeah. I want you to view yourself the way you see me. When you're feeling alone, I'll be your sanctuary.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Morning Aurora, good morning Aurora, good morning Aurora. The time is now 8:04 a.m. You're listening to and watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Monday, and in many ways, in many respects, we still kind of getting ready. I know you guys are like, man, Good Morning Aurora starting kind of late this morning. It's not like a 7:59 kind of thing. No, I said we ready. I said we ready. That's what I said. But we're not alone. We got good guests today. We got some returning friends on the show, our friends of the Rush University Road Home program, which is kind of fitting because they made it back home. How y'all doing? Chris, Allie, what's up?
Good. How are you doing?
All right. Chris, come on in. Eat the mic, baby. Yeah. Rick, get in. Rick. Yeah, there you go. We hungry as hell. Got some chocolates right there. Check it out, though. You see the Fannie Mae? You see I got the mint meltaways. You see that?
Yeah.
That's just not any kind of chocolate. We got Fannie Mae chocolate. Yeah, we coming up. Look at that.
That mint.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Everybody else just got Hershey Kisses. No, we got Fannie Mae mint meltaway premium chocolate since, what's the date on the box?
I don't know, man. But
What's
I'm
it
not
say?
sure, but let's see.
It says it right there. Under Fannie Mae.
1920.
1920. Damn.
Like, wait, we're
100 years?
Right?
102.
Nora Peterson's here. Ale Hernandez, good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Jennifer Ryan Mayton, good morning. Paris Bistro, good morning. Yo, Ale Hernandez and Vanessa Rodriguez Aguirre. Gabriel's here as well. The time is 8:06 a.m. So you guys are coming back on the show. How's life been with you guys? Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me. Because you're chewing the melt away, right?
No, we've been good. We've been busy, staying busy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right, very
busy
good.
season from Memorial Day through Veterans Day, and
we've been busy.
Damn, I know. I've been seeing some things. You guys got a partnership with the Bears, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we're not here on a Victory Monday, but
Nope.
tough game. They played good yesterday, so
Right.
Yeah. The Bears, they sponsor our family program, so taking care of all the loved ones, the supporters, and family members of veterans.
Nice. Well, you guys are personal friends of the show. For those who are unfamiliar, let us know about the Road Home program. What is it?
The Road Home program is a 2-week intensive outpatient program. It used to be 3 weeks. It's 2 weeks now. We do have 2 different cohorts.
Okay.
It's PTSD cohort that goes for 2 weeks, and then once that cohort leaves, we have the MST group come through.
Right.
They're two different. So we switched through these two different groups. What is it? How many cycles per group? I would say it was like I'm trying to remember.
What, 12 a year? We
Is
do
it?
12
Yeah,
of each,
12.
so 24 programs a year for our intensive outpatient program. It's all trauma-focused work. So whether, like she was saying, whether it's combat trauma or sexual trauma, that's our flagship bread and butter program.
Okay.
And then we also have the program, like you were talking about, the Bears Fund for family members, so family members can get their mental health care as well. And we've got groups for them as well.
Yeah.
We define family as, if it's family for you, it's family for us. So it doesn't have to be, we're not checking birth certificates and marriage records and stuff like that.
Right.
It could be your neighbor, your boyfriend, girlfriend. It doesn't matter. So and
Right.
then we've also got traditional, outpatient programs, once a week type things where folks can come in and just get their normal talk therapy once a week.
What's the status of veterans in the state, in you guys' opinion? What's the collective health of the body?
Like the services that they're seeking the most?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
in just this state alone?
Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot going on state to state and a lot of national programs, but specific Illinois.
Yeah.
The needs, there's...
Yeah, I would just say, over the last 10 years, huge shift and a big increase in the amount of services that are available. I think 10 years ago when we first opened our doors, mental health care was one thing that was severely lacking. That was sort of the impetus for us opening the doors and doing what we're doing. And over the last 10 years, what I've seen is not just us. There's other organizations out there that are doing phenomenal work. The VA has improved dramatically over the last 5-6 years, almost night and day at Hines and Jesse Brown and up at Lovell. So big shift, especially in the mental health care, which is where we focus. And now, I don't know.
With the PACT Act, maybe?
The PACT Act is big.
Yeah.
Definitely going to see some changes there. I think physical health is also definitely a cause of concern or a place where a big focus for veterans in the state of Illinois is kind of changing. So,
Right.
and we've also been doing a lot of work in rural areas. Outside of Chicago, there's a whole big old state out there.
Yes, there is. Yeah. Yes, there is.
So-
With a lot of different towns that you may not have even heard of or going through with good folks in them. Yeah.
So a few years ago, we were able to start a rural clinic. We've got a phenomenal doctor, Blake Schroeder. He's born and raised in Effingham, Illinois, down in central Illinois. We did a research study and kind of noticed that there's a huge gap in between, it's 100 miles in either direction of Effingham. That's the closest VA. And finding supportive services there just didn't exist. And doesn't mean there's not veterans there in need. So we were able to start a rural clinic in Effingham. So we're able to help rural veterans, and we're looking to replicate that. Just this past year, we just completed training for rural providers. So we brought in about 20 clinicians in central Illinois, trained them in what's called the Common Elements Treatment Approach. Mm-hmm. And it's a evidence-based modality that allows providers to, provide mental health care. And this was specifically for providers working with veterans in central Illinois. So sort of that train the trainer approach, so that force multiplier. So
Right.
Not only do we have our clinic in central Illinois, but now we've got 24 other trained licensed clinicians all around, central and southern Illinois that now are a little bit more able to work with the veteran population, especially in their mental health care needs, trauma-focused needs, and things like that.
Yeah, because down that far south, you're closer to St. Louis or something. As opposed to your Illinois services. Wow. That's right.
So that's one of the ways we've really been able to expand our reach this year across the state. I think we've got good news coming.
Okay.
We, during COVID, across the country, there was it's called the Psi Pact. So it's an agreement between, I think it's up to 30-something states right now across the country. One of the issues with providing mental health care across state lines is that licensure and having, being licensed in other states.
Right.
So instead of our clinicians being licensed and having to go through that process in all these states, we are closing out the final steps of the process to be able to provide our services via telehealth to veterans, not just here in Illinois, not just in rural locations, but in 30 different states across the country.
What's the number one way you guys meet clients right now? Walk-ins, or you guys have a robust presence on a lot of platforms? Is it emails and calls, or?
Emails and calls, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Referrals probably too as well?
Virtual outreach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Virtual outreach. All right.
Yeah.
And then when you've met that client and they need that service, what's the next step? To come in and meet with you guys and get brought into the program if they're not.
It is too cold out there. You've been out there today.
Yeah.
You don't have to leave your house.
Yeah.
All it takes is a phone call.
Okay.
So you call 312-942-VETS.
That's
Okay.
You're going to get on the phone with Liz. She's an Air Force veteran.
Okay.
She's been with the Road Home program since before the doors open. She knows what she's doing. She's good at what she does, and she's going to be the first point of contact for anybody that calls. And
As you mentioned, it is cold out there. I have the weather for you in a little bit. I want to, let you know that it's not going to be negative 50 forever. It seems like negative 55 soon as it's a storm a brewing. I know. Look at.
I'm gonna freeze to death.
So I want to shout out your hoodie too as well,
Oh,
though.
yes, right.
Really feeling the hoodie, Rush, and then the Warrior Care Network as well.
Yes.
So the Road Home program is part of the Warrior Care Network.
Yeah, they're our largest funder.
Okay. All right. Allie, here's the thing.
What's up?
Here's the thing. Let's talk turkey. Now, we know each other for a long time,
Yes.
a real long time.
Very long.
Back when you were with the VA long.
Yeah.
VNA, my bad. VNA.
Yeah, from the VNA,
Yep.
even prior to being at the VNA.
You
yeah.
really you really found your niche.
Sure did.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. You found that which fills your bowl inside, right?
Yeah.
It does. It shows too. You don't turn it off. You don't turn it off.
Kind of hard. Turn it off.
What is it with about working with the veteran population that fills you so?
That's like a second family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just being able to understand one another without having to explain too much. I don't know.
No, I feel you. Yeah.
It just feels good because I know that healing is not linear,
Right.
and it's good to be able to relate to them.
The time is 8:16 a.m. Brooke Shanley, good morning to your Paris Bistro. Good morning, right back at you. Now, you guys have your own podcast, too. Your home program has a podcast. And I think that one of the most recent episodes and series I saw was on MST, military sexual trauma. Can you guys talk about that and talk about the focus that's been on it? Well, I guess it is recently. It's a lot more recent than it has been typically talked about in the services.
Yeah, for me, that's one of the things that, as we're, further removed from mass deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, the one thing that's not, in terms of numbers going down is sexual trauma in the military.
Right.
It's one of our huge focuses in the Warrior Care Network with the 4, including ourselves, Mass General, Emory, and UCLA. And ourselves, that's our specialty in the network, is working with military sexual trauma. We're the only group that has a dedicated focus to military sexual trauma. So we bring in each month. We have that combat cohort that comes in for 2 weeks, and as soon as they leave, then we bring in a dedicated military sexual trauma cohort. And it's for me, that's a big focus for the future, because
Right.
that's one of those things that, unfortunately, and as much as it, I think makes us all sick, that's not going away.
Right.
And it's going to be, it's a continued problem that the military is working on, and that's what we're here for.
Right. I feel kind of like I feel like the world and everybody in it is going through a big shift right now. I think that people are seeing like all these institutions. So whether it's been the educational institutions, our military institutions, law enforcement, prisons, what have you, I think everybody's looking at it and they're thinking, we don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but if we just clean the thing up a lot, it would be a whole lot better. You know what I mean? It could be like everything that it says on paper. It really could be a kind of forward-thinking, not punching down, treating people a little bit better kind of institution. So I kind of like the cleaning house method that I'm seeing in a lot of things. The time is 8:18. So who are the presenters for this for the podcast that you guys have and the different shows and presentations?
The presenters are usually Will and Chris on the podcast. We do have one that we're going to be filming today.
Okay.
And that one's going to be focused on one of our colleagues' books and some other news.
Okay. Other news?
Yeah.
Oh, brother can't know it. Can we get the little
scoop?
tasty taste?
Who's presenting? I believe it's you, right? You're presenting, right?
Today? Yeah.
Oh, she didn't want to be too modest. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm feeling that.
Today
I'm feeling that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Aurora has a great veteran community. So does Chicago, and so does our state. So the more people who can get the care and get the help, especially given the fact that veteran suicide and the homelessness rate and things like that, that's something that we're dealing with here locally. I think more got to fix, or we're trying to put together some affordable housing in the city in many different ways. One of the populations that will help are unhoused veterans, who kind of don't have anybody to advocate for them at the moment. The time is 8:20. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Before we go too far, I do want to thank you. Since the last time we were here, one, you got incredible reach, and it wasn't too long after the last time we were here. We had a gentleman come into our intensive outpatient program, and it wasn't local. He was coming from all the way from Los Angeles, California. His wife listened to the podcast, said, "Wow, I think
Good.
that's something that my husband could benefit from." And a couple weeks later, he's on a plane. He's sitting in Chicago, Illinois, getting mental health care treatment. And
That's what I'm talking about. That makes me happy to hear.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
actually, you know what? That reminds me, and that gives me a good sense of pride right now. One of my shipmates passed away recently. His name was Darkus Vaughn. He was an OS2, and he was a really good brother. He was a native of Texas. And actually, I think Good Morning Aurora will observe a brief moment of silence for Darkus Vaughn. All right, the time is 8:21. Norman Peterson says that's amazing. Yeah, that is. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. I am extremely proud of that, because all I've ever wanted to do is just to let people know that however you got to reach out. Maybe it's after the show. Maybe it's when like I do with you, huh? Text you.
Buddy checks.
Exactly.
Buddy
Right.
checks.
Right. Come on. That's what it takes sometimes. I'm glad. God bless that family. All right. The time is 8:21. So I'm going to take these people on a joyride for local news. I'm going to tell them a couple quick things, and then we'll get back to our friends of the road. Hold on. Let me scratch that. Which one's the scratch, Gabriel? Blue button.
There you go.
That's the power of interns right there. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay. Sip it up.
Yeah, sip that up, man.
Yeah, when we mess it up, we sip it up. That's right. Okay. Here's some good news that I saw really recently, you guys, and I think that all of you guys are going to love this because if you're a local Auroran, you will hear about some old and hear about some new. SciTech is finding a new home in downtown Aurora. You guys remember SciTech, right?
Yeah, I do. I remember going there as a kid.
Yeah, with the big dinosaur in front.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all those cool cool exhibits and the cool tours they used to have in there. SciTech, the one-time hands-on science museum, has a new home thanks to a partnership with APS Training Academy. The museum will present hands-on science and mobile programs as part of APS Training Academy's offerings on the second floor of the APS Tower, 105 East Galena, corner of Galena and Broadway. Faith Slowinski, executive director of SciTech, said she's looking forward to partnering and collaborating with APS Training Academy and offering science to deserving Aurora families through free and affordable STEM programs. Quote, SciTech is eager to begin working alongside APS with our portable hands-on outreach. The museum closed earlier this year after 34 years. Wow. In downtown at 18 West Benton. It's been closed for 2 years previously due to the pandemic. APS made the announcement recently at the Masquerade Gala, an annual fundraiser where officials also announced that Kelsey Cozens had been named new executive director of the Academy. Cozens was previously the program director at APS Academy. She says, I'm inspired every day by the mission of APS Training Academy to empower vulnerable communities in Aurora by providing free and low-cost education and vocational opportunities in STEM. The time is 8:24. Okay. And then here's the other thing I was going to tell you guys about. The Mr. and Miss Black Aurora pageant will be held on Saturday, February 4th at the Copley Theater. A virtual information session has already taken place. The event's for all high school students wishing to participate. And shouts out to the Aurora African American Heritage Advisory Board for sponsoring the event. We've posted the link for that. Any young kids who are interested in being the winners of the pageant, right? The king and queen. That's how they do. You got the matching, right? Matching outfits. And then you take those pictures. And then hopefully 20 years later, your kids look at them on the wall. Oh, you guys went to homecoming together. Like, yeah, word up. That's where you're
That's where we're at.
That's where we're at. Okay. Tracy Durant's here. Good morning. The time is 8:25 a.m. So, the SWOT analysis. You guys are familiar with the SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and what's the T? Threats. That's right. Let's do a SWOT analysis for what you guys are doing. So not just the Road Home program, but services for the veteran community in the state. What are we looking for? I think there is, if I'm not mistaken, legislation making its way through to, I think, correctly identify and provide levels of accountability for military sexual trauma. If I'm not, I could have scrambled that egg, but I think that there is legislation being passed or trying to find a way to define and give punishment. But what's our strengths? What's our strengths in regards to what we're doing?
Our strengths would have to be our ability to reach all sorts of veterans.
Okay.
No matter where they may be living. We have like many tools. We got the podcast. We do use like at work like a certain program to go ahead and like help keep all that organized. So there's many tools in our reach.
Okay.
Just to name a few.
Yeah. Working with veterans of all eras. You know, it's that big push for services for post 9/11 veterans. It was huge, you know, 5, 10, 15 years ago. But there's so many veterans in this state that served before 9/11. Vietnam veterans still have issues. You know, they're still here. Korean War veterans, you know, they're still around.
Right.
You know, can't forget about those. And the ability to be able to service those and provide services is huge. You know.
What's our weaknesses?
I think on a state level, I think kind of what you're talking about, you know, those things that need to be changed. And I think a lot of it is coming from maybe not necessarily the veteran community, but the active and reserve and guard community.
Right.
The things that need to be changed there.
And that stuff takes time.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Opportunities.
So many.
Right. That's
there's
the
a
one that's
few.
like, oh yeah, come on.
Yeah.
The iron is hot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's always the opportunity. There's plenty of opportunities to be able to do more. And a lot of it comes down to funding, but and I think we've really explored this on a personal level. I had a great conversation on Friday with some of the veterans in our group, but there's so many opportunities out there that exist that people just don't know about.
Right.
Whether it's, we both went on a trip with an organization called Higher Ground this year.
Mm-hmm.
I went out to Idaho and went whitewater kayaking and fly fishing on an 80-mile kayak trip. She went.
I went to Joshua Tree and did some climbing.
I
out
saw
there.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
In Arizona? No, that was California.
Yeah.
Joshua Tree's in California.
Okay.
Yeah, but neither of us knew about it the last time we were here.
Right.
And I think we're both much better people now, having gone on this trip with other veterans, got to do this sort of amazing thing.
Yeah.
People need to know about it. There's other resources. I mean, we just had in November we did our turkey drop.
Yes.
We
Yep.
gave Thanksgiving meals to 350 different veteran families. That was huge. But we want more people to know about these things. We gave another 150 away down in Effingham.
Nice.
So, there's things that are out there. It's
You just got to find
Yeah.
what's going to work for you.
it could be the fun things. It could be, I just need housing. I just need mental health care. I need physical health care.
Right.
But those things are out there. You just got to know what you're looking for and who to ask and somebody to point you in the right direction.
What's the last one? Threats.
I would say that maybe too many organizations trying to do the same thing or trying to reinvent the wheel sometimes, as far as even events, as far as events goes. But I think that what helps is just communication across all those organizations, so there's no crossover. Oh, man.
Damn, that's how popular we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's a Monday.
Turn off the little guy over there, Gabriel, please. Right? Nah, pretty soon we're going to have it. I'm going to pick up one of you. Yo, you're on the air.
Hotline, yeah.
What you need to
Gonna have the switchboard and everything.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Another threat, and I think it's always been there and it's always going to be one of those threats is funding and how that works, whether it's funding in the form of state grants,
Right.
Funding in the form of, where's the money coming from? Is it coming from philanthropic donors? Where's it coming from? And like we mentioned earlier, the further and further we get away from these, conflicts where, in Iraq and Afghanistan where the American military is on the news, during those times, people want to do everything they can. They want to support. And the further and further we get away, the further and further it gets out of people's minds.
Right. Yep. Love you when they hear about you kind of thing. Yeah. Which I think that's been detrimental. I think a lot of times, the mission, the collective mission as a country, I think we've kind of helped exacerbate the problem with our veterans in a lot of ways because in a way, it's like when you only appreciate someone during that time of crisis, people like to be thought about when it's not a crisis. And I think that hyper focus on people only when it's, you're only a hero when you're in the uniform. That's not helping anybody.
Yeah.
That's not helping anybody. So and it's kind of just a human level thing, I think the appreciation needs to be shown like all the time in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has and we've become a society and a country where like everybody has their day, their month, and
And then we forget about them.
right?
Yeah. We're going to have to bring you one of our wristbands. They say every day is Veterans Day.
Oh, I'll wear anything you guys got. That shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Been wearing it.
Oh, yeah, I rock that shirt. Yeah,
Rock it.
absolutely. I'll change my avatar this day and everything. We're reducing so many things just to be in the cool social media challenge, man. And I'm not a fan of that. Anyway, Shannon Eliz, good morning. Cruz Ocho.
Oh, snap.
Cruz, what up?
I'll be seeing you soon, Cruz.
Good morning, Aurora. Happy Monday from Dan Barrero. Good to see you, Dan. We appreciate you tuning in as always.
Word up.
So right now, and speaking of the conflicts, the Iraq and Afghanistan, it appears, these are my words and my thoughts here. It appears that right now we're going to have a new class of the veteran community. I've been reading some really good, especially New York Times articles, Vanity Fair, Variety. There's a lot of drone operators who over the years, maybe the last 8-10 years, a lot of drone operators have been writing and talking about their experiences. I'm not a person who's diagnosed anybody for anything, but as I continue to read these stories and hear and read these articles, listen to these podcasts that these guys do, couple interviews, keep it light, I'm starting to think that we are potentially witnessing a whole new class of people who are going to need services very soon.
Mm-hmm. That's something we talk a lot about. We give training and classes to the medical students at Rush University. So not just the future doctors, but the future nurses of the world. Mm-hmm. And one of the big things that we talk about in there, one of the case studies that we use is drone operators. For mental health care, there's the DSM, the manual that defines what PTSD is. Right. The latest iteration of it that came out, I think 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, was expanded to include that PTSD doesn't have to be witnessed directly in front of you, or trauma doesn't have to occur directly in front of you. You don't have to see, the body. It could be something you see over a screen, like those drone operators. You've got folks in, Arizona at a Air Force base that they go to work every day just like everyone else, and their job's a little bit different. They're operating drones from halfway around the world, doing things that cause issues. Yep. And then they get off, and then they go home to their family in America. Right. And it's a very different scenario. It's completely different. The face of warfare is totally different now. Right. And, I totally agree. And I think the more technologically driven that we get, the more and more that's going to be an issue. Yeah. And there's the one saving grace, if I can call it that, and I use that term so loosely, the one that I guess for me, what I'm hopeful for is that as the technology advances for warfare, good God, I hope it keeps on advancing to help people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, it was humanitarian drone.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
If Amazon can deliver packages via drones and Domino's can deliver a pizza via drone, hey.
That's what I was talking about, right? And I wasn't trying to be funny about it. That's exactly what I was talking about. Like, you see the advances that they make fighting fires with unmanned aerial vehicles, small scale, right? I want the same thing to happen. But I want the people who are taking part in it to be good too. But maybe that's a larger discussion about, conflict and things like that, in the world. The time is 8:36. So what's the calendar look like for you guys? What's any events coming up? Any big scale stuff? Besides you being famous and all that, Oprah.
Never.
Ask her. She's got speaking engagements. I think.
It's like, I got to call Joe Biden back, dog.
I think she's looking for an assistant now just to organize her all of her speaking engagements.
Madeline Albright? Yeah, I'll call her back. Yeah.
I'll get back to you. No, I know we're going to California in February. What's going on in January? I know there's something going on. Oh, one of my colleagues is having a bowling night. So that'll be coming down here real soon. We got to set up for that.
Okay.
Set up the Eventbrite and everything.
Okay.
But like major stuff, like I was saying, we're going to Cali in February. And then there's some other states that we're hitting up.
Like Arizona in either January or March.
Yeah.
But one of the things that the two of us are working on, we mentioned that organization earlier, Higher Ground. Got an opportunity when we got back. They reached out to us and said, hey, we like what you guys are doing in Chicago. We'd like you guys to be, they call it crew, but almost like a brand ambassador. They want us to do similar things like these once-in-a-lifetime trips on a local and smaller scale.
Okay.
So the two of us are going to be working on hosting events every month, doing fun stuff. I think we're planning a bouldering, indoor bouldering trip in January.
Okay.
In January.
We've got
that soccer. So in Chicago, there's this building where on the rooftop, it's got a net, and you can play soccer up there, and you can see the skyline. But we're going to obviously do that, like, when it's a little warmer, like 50, 60-degree weather.
Yeah, isn't Pinstripes over there? Is that where?
possibly.
Okay. All right. I don't want to derail. I'm sorry about that. Pinstripes is a really cool bowling alley place.
Yeah.
With like live dinner and all that. If you guys, I thought it was because I heard something about anyway. Go back to what you're saying.
So we're trying to branch out and doing some recreational therapy.
Nice.
Different types of
It's sort of going to be the two of us spearheading it. We're looking each month to do some sort of event outdoors or active.
Oh, word
and taking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 vets out.
Yeah.
We'll take care of everything. We're going to plan it all out, and we got some funding for it. And we're looking to get out and do some stuff. So hopefully this weather, gets out of here soon.
The
sun comes back. And
bring
it gets
on the new
warm.
year. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
We want to go fishing. We want to go out, get outside, do some fun stuff. But this is Chicago. We might need to embrace the cold.
Right. True.
Ice fishing, snowshoeing. Who knows?
Or
we could do all kinds of things.
A snow ruck march or something like that.
All right.
Oh,
right.
Lord.
Like, is this the Russian military? What the hell are we doing? Well, we, as you guys know, we wish you the absolute best. If Good Morning Aurora can be involved or come on for any of those things. You invited me to some event you guys had in Chicago, and it was the only time I didn't have any good shoes. I thought about coming to that shebang. I was like, brother, ain't got no good kicks, Can't be rolled up in there with some dusty, your dusty feet wear. But that's good. If you guys share anything with us, too, we'll make sure to get the word out and let people know about what you guys are doing. So man, you guys are doing good.
Good ideas for some fun events that are going to be coming up. And we're going to do them every month. So the only thing we need is vets to come with us.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to go out and do some stuff,
give
us a call.
Okay.
Check it out.
All right. And also the all the services that you guys have are open to the families of veterans as well and their children too.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to massacre the slogan, but it's about the veterans unit and their family. It's their family, right? That's who also is going through any issues that they may be experiencing.
What they call family.
Right.
Not how we define family. It's how you define family.
Right.
So like we were saying earlier, it could be your best friend. It could be your
partner.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. You call them family. It's family for us.
All right. The time is 8:41. Gabriel, would you do me a favor? Would you please put the link to the Road Home program in the chat? Thank you very much, young man. I appreciate that. Gabriel Bradford is he's a member of the Aurora Youth Council, and he's also part of the Alive Teen Center as well.
Yeah.
And Good Morning Aurora got a new employee too.
Nice.
Yes, we have a social media director
Who's that?
now. Her name is Alexa Rodriguez. Yep, she's part of the Alive Teen Center too. She ain't here today. She's behind the scenes with. That's the social media director. So she's going to be doing some of that great work for us. Real quick, you guys, Friday, December 23rd at 7 p.m., Alderwoman Juany Garza will host a Christmas Posada with Judge Bianca Camargo and Unidos. There will be hot chocolate sweets and a lot of fun. This will be at Sacred Heart Church in the Simard Hall, 769 Fulton Street in Aurora. Come take part in this great event and also see Santa. They put the name for Santa, though, on the flyer. Hold on, check this out. You want to see something funny? Check this out. That's why I haven't been sharing the flyer. 'Cause I'm like, yo, I don't know how I feel about that. You don't want some kid to know that dude's name is Martinez. There's a stack over there there might be another stack of news somewhere in here, Gabriel, if you could find it. Yeah, that one. Yeah. There's the flyer for the Christmas Posada. There it go. Yeah, okay, here it is. Posada Navideña.
Damn,
Okay.
that was good, Navideña.
Oh, you're
Me
like,
gusta. Yeah, man.
Buenos dias, Aurora, kicking off. Okay, check it
Yeah.
out. All right, so you see that where it says, now read underneath that.
It says,
But don't say homeboy's name.
Visita especial de Santa Claus. Oh, yeah, it's got his name.
It's got his whole name.
Represented by blah, 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 blah. Oh, Lord.
So I'm like, why would they put his name on there?
They want the kids to know.
Right?
Hey, if you're in the Santa Claus business, you gotta.
True that. You got to
gotta
advertise.
You gotta advertise.
Yeah.
Not all of them are created equally.
Yeah.
You don't want Billy Bob Thornton showing up. You want
Right. Bad
maybe
Santa.
this guy.
Right. Very true.
that.
All right. Time's 8:43. Gloria Gerardo says, good morning to you, Aurora. Hope you had yourself a nice weekend to have a blessed day today. Amen. Well, thank you very much. We did have a nice weekend. How was the weekend for you guys? We didn't ask y'all. How was your weekend? Good?
It was all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had fun. We've been teasing each other about the World Cup.
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh.
So we had some fun yesterday.
Why? Who lost? Whose team lost and whose team won?
His team
My
lost.
team
My team won, man. Argentina all day. What's up, Messi?
Yeah,
What's your team?
France.
France? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But hey, we before it even started, we both called it. We said it's going to be France. I said it was going to be France. She said it was going to be Argentina. So both our teams made it to the finals. That was probably one of the best games I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
That was
man.
good. And it came down to the very, very end.
We were at the edge of our seats.
Okay. All right. I got to get, I see all the fun going on with the World Cup and everything. I like the flags of the nations. I'll be honest with you. Like, just like with sports with me, I was always a fan of like the team and the logo, how dope it looked. That's why I wanted to win. Which is why I was a Raiders fan. I always thought the Raiders looked so tough on the field. Like all that black and gray. I was like, yeah, they look like.
You should have seen them yesterday.
Did they do bad?
Oh, no, they did good. They
They
beat
did?
one of the craziest plays you'll ever see.
Okay.
Last second, game's over. Just should be over. Or it should be going to overtime, and the Patriots made the most boneheaded mistake ever, and the Raiders walked off with a touchdown and won.
Oh, nice.
A nice upset for Raider Nation.
On some good news, though, the Women's World Cup is next year, so.
Okay.
Yes,
All
let's go,
right.
Team USA.
Yeah.
Team USA.
Yeah, oh, my God, yes.
I'm glad to see that we beat Iran.
Yeah.
I know we beat Iran. I'm glad to see that in sports we're still kicking all the butt, right? We're still
At least the women's team
Yeah,
is.
the women's team is.
Because girls rule the world.
girls rule the world.
Don't you forget.
Well, the time is time's 8:46 a.m. Matt says, "Good morning. World Cup game was amazing. As a PSG fan, won either way. Messi and Mbappe were awesome."
Yeah.
Okay, what's PSG?
Paris Saint-Germain.
Ah, okay. Congratulations, Argentina! Awesome game. We got a lot of sports fans.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna start. We
The
may
World
start.
Cup unites. It unites the world.
It does.
It's
It does unite the world.
It is a special event.
So our satellite office, where you went, unfortunately, today this morning, which we got a room over there. They're building it out for us, putting padding on the wall and everything like that. Anyway, there's some clients who come there for financial empowerment, right? And one of the girls had a little TV screen underneath the desk right there with the laptop. And it's funny, like, you walk in, you push the buzzer and you come in, and all these people who are otherwise nervous, right, to come here and bear your life financially to try to get coaching, all these people are in the lobby listening to the World Cup.
Hell
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean, it was a scene that was just beautiful to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
at the top of the stairs looking down, and all these clients are looking over the counter, right, as they look and watch the World Cup. That was really cool to see.
Hell yeah.
Brings people together.
It reminds me, my first deployment was prior to 9/11.
Okay.
I was in Southeast Asia, and at the time, the World Cup was in Southeast Asia, so Japan and Korea.
Okay.
So traveling to these countries and seeing people from all over the world who are also traveling flock into these bars, and when their home country was playing, places were going nuts, and it was one of the coolest things I've really got to experience on a global level, is seeing people from all over the world just coming out, and whether they like soccer or not, that support. It was just a fun experience.
Right. It's one of the beautiful things about the military, right?
Mm-hmm.
It can take that kid who otherwise probably may never have seen anything global
Yeah.
and put them somewhere globally.
Mm-hmm.
They can be in Japan. They can be in Panama. They can be in a lot of different places doing a lot of different things. That's the beauty of it. But it's also catching people sometimes at a vulnerable state. When you're outside of your comfort zone, you are, or some people are, trying to find themselves, what kind of person they're going to be and what they may become. So that's where trauma can be unfortunate if the person experiences it.
It's a heck of a transition. Your military's what, 18 to 24 primarily,
Yeah.
which is a huge transition point in your life
Yep.
anyways. And then you add the military.
Right.
You're giving kids guns and you're sending them all over the world. It's something else.
Yeah.
But that's an experience I don't think any of us would trade.
No, it's a beautiful thing. It is. Allie and I have discussed it many times before, and I think I might have shared it with you guys. National Geographic was my way out, right? It was all the parrots of Peru, wildlife of the Serengeti. How else are you going to see something like that if you don't join the military or have the college experience, if you have the benefit of that too? And it was. I wouldn't trade it for anything. The ability to do that, to actually be in Ecuador and to see people that you otherwise would never have seen. That is a great thing, which is also why it is so important to care for the people who go do that and then come back. They should have, they should be receiving the top-notch care kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we focus on those good times, right? The fun times in Japan watching the World Cup.
Or the fun times in Germany.
I think I was lucky. My 21st birthday was pretty atypical. It was on the beach in Thailand, and we had a big
Nice.
bonfire party with the Thai military. So it was cool, but
What's the Thai military like?
it was interesting. They
Very
eat,
good answer.
They eat well.
Yeah.
They were funny. We had a good time. We spent a couple weeks with the Thai Marines, and it was a lot of fun. But like you were talking about, just a different experience. Something
Right.
that, like, when am I going to meet and spend 2 weeks in a jungle with folks from Thailand? I mean, it just doesn't happen in everyday life. So the military was great. But we talk about those fun times. I think that's sort of just, it's our mask, right? To
Yep.
cover up some of those other times that were
Yeah,
a little
the
bit more
not so
difficult.
fun times. Yep. I remember, especially like the California experience, which I had. I remember that being out there was fun, but that was really the only fun part about it, because the rest was like, trying to find myself, and especially the core of people that you meet when you are in the military. They're unlike anybody else you've met so far in life.
Yeah.
You thought you met characters before life. You're like,
No.
get ready for these people. And I think sometimes that, again, that's another just layer of the whole mask thing, right? Because when you may have had an identity before you joined, now you've had to assume a brand new one.
Mm-hmm.
And with that new identity came these other people who are probably going through the same thing. I nowadays I'm able to see, with the benefit of hindsight, I'm able to see even not trauma, but just the stumbling blocks where you can you can stumble at those parts in life, right?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Maybe you didn't make the world's greatest mistakes, but those were definitely slippery ice situations. Like, it's 25. Probably should have thought a lot about, probably should have thought a little bit more before doing X. Probably should have did a little bit more, research before blah, blah, blah.
Nah, those are growth opportunities.
Yeah.
That's where growth comes from.
Yeah,
you know?
it does.
Yeah.
It does, yep.
Like my experience, I grew up in Kentucky, went to private school for high school, all boys, all white. It was, just a very vanilla experience,
Right.
In more ways than one. And then going into the military, joining the military. My best friend, talked to him yesterday, was born in Laos, came to the United States, and got his American citizenship through the Marine Corps. And my other buddy was born in northern India. And how in the world would I ever meet these people that don't look like me, didn't grow up like me, grew up in different countries, different parts of the world, without something like the military? My favorite thing is being at Camp Pendleton, and you see the boots at the bus stop, and you got the kid wearing his Wrangler jeans that are way too tight with his cowboy hat next to some kid that grew up in middle of Detroit, next to some kid that grew up in northern Alaska, and you get these hodgepodge mixed matches of people at this weird intersection of their life, and you get something special out of it.
Yep. And you put them through, and they all come out looking one way.
Yeah. Acting one way. Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful thing. It is. What the military does good, it does phenomenally well. I don't think there's any other institution that can bring people together and make them all one unit like that effective. That's I was watching an old speech by Ash Carter, who was a defense secretary, and he was talking about shopping. He used some kind of anecdote about shopping with his wife and all that, and he said, that's the beauty of the military. He was like, we have what other people lack. We start out with the rough and we produce diamonds. We don't start out with all of the great elements and then produce a mismanaged system that, is full of leaks and holes. We got it. We really cornered the market on doing it the right way. And I think that's true. True. Time is 8:54. Did we forget anything? The purpose of the show is to save the world in an hour. And I think that it's only Monday too. So did we forget anything? What we talked about?
We're still talking about growth.
Right. We're talking about,
those stumbling blocks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think if you take it a little step further in kind of the work that we do, right, it's mental health care, right? People have stumbling blocks after the military. You have those stumbling blocks, and the same way you can have those downward spirals with post-traumatic stress, you can also have that spiral in the other direction.
Absolutely.
Post-traumatic growth is a thing.
Yeah.
And you cannot just recover from PTSD and get back to baseline. You can use that, those things that you learn, the ways you can compartmentalize in a negative way and use that to your advantage. The things that your those coping mechanisms that you're dealing with when you're struggling, you can use those to your advantage, and you can really see some amazing growth.
Right.
Like my partner here, I look at her, and we were talking before she showed up. The amount of growth I've seen in her.
Oh, absolutely.
Over the since we were here last. I mean, it's insane.
Yep.
That is
absolutely.
insane.
Yeah. No, Allie, you're doing good.
Thanks,
You're
man.
doing
I
good,
really
Joe.
needed that.
We
Thanks.
yeah, we were just talking about you while you weren't here.
Oh boy.
No, but no, as we talked about. I told you that before though too, because you and I one of the last times we hung, we were at Tavern. I was having my chicken sandwich, but I told you before, like, yo, you really taking the Roll Home program serious. Like you're fired up with it. You're not just doing something, and that's one of the other things too that I've tried to instill, especially like doing this, like, don't just be doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who are just doing stuff. Everybody wakes up and then goes to a lot of people go to a job they hate.
Yeah.
Just because it provides the kind of lifestyle they like. Stay here 25 years, get my gold watch, bada bing, bada boom. I'd rather be doing elsewhere and being else, doing other stuff, but whatever. Nah, man, don't just be doing shit.
Be about
Find
it.
your mission. Find your purpose.
Absolutely. Find your purpose.
Find your tribe.
Yeah.
Find your
Find your
tribe.
tribe.
Find
That's
your
what we
tribe.
talked about last time, right?
Yeah, you did say that.
I found my purpose. I really
Yeah.
did. That's kind of like what, I'm happy to hear about the veteran who got in touch with you guys, because I realized that what I did, man. I did. I found my purpose. I really did. I really did. I knew it before, right?
See, that's what it's all about. Look at the smile on his face.
Yeah.
You can tell he found his
did.
his purpose.
Yeah.
I did.
And look at
man.
hers. You could tell she found hers.
I did.
Yeah.
We got
I
big
did.
smiles over
Yep,
here.
I-
We got
Yeah.
two people. I'm looking at them,
did,
and you
man.
can see the purpose written on their face.
I really did. I really did, man. Which also found out I didn't know Mike Wallace was in the Navy. Mike Wallace was in the
Oh,
Navy.
yeah.
Mike, who's in all these pictures in this office. Mike Wallace was in the Navy. Man,
There's a lot of people that were in the military.
that went on to do like news or journalism and sports stuff. Like, yes, there was. I'm consistently surprised by all the people in America who've like done amazing things who were in the military. Jimmy Stewart, right? Who knew? He went from the 8th Air Force Bomber Squadron to every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Right? One of the greatest actors ever known. Nobody even knows that he's a veteran, or he was a veteran. Rest in peace, Jimmy Stewart. Okay, time's 8:58. Well, so Christmas is coming up. You guys going anywhere for Christmas? No. Keeping
Back
it
down to
local?
Kentucky.
Back down to Kentucky.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. When you go down to Kentucky, what's it like after being up here with us fast-paced city folk for
It's
so long?
so slow and relaxing. But I've been here for 12 years, and now I've got that Chicagoitis. It's I go down there and I'm finishing people's sentences for them. I'm like, all right, let's go, hurry up. I got
Right.
places to be. I don't really have anywhere to go when I'm down there, but it's fast, go,
Right.
go, and I just got to relax.
Right.
So,
They're like, Chris, man, take it easy, man. We're just gonna churn the butter.
yeah,
I don't know if it's like that. Shout out to everybody in Kentucky. I met some good people from Kentucky
Kentucky's cool.
when I was in. Oh, absolutely. To your point, I met a guy, good brother. He went on he tried out for Buds, SEAL program, and he didn't make it. And I remember something. I'm gonna end on this. Anyway, he's from Kentucky. Good dude. And in the spirit of Darkest Vaughn, when you're in the military, you're young. Like me, I was way skinnier than I am now, and I'm still skinny. Trying to figure it out and everything like that. And he tried out for Bud's training. He was a short dude. He's like 5'2". And so every day after muster in the morning time, like we break and we go about our thing, and then he would go off and continue his training for Buds. So we start seeing less and less of him. Then a month or so went by, I don't know, but he shows back up, and now he's just part of, basic deck division again, and he's back with us. And I remember as his rack, the coffin racks, I had the top rack, and his was in the middle. So I'm seeing him. I was like, how you doing, man? He's like, I'm good, man. Didn't make it, whatever. But some of the other dudes were kind of like, sneak dissing him, talking smack. Oh, you back now, huh? Didn't make it. Basic underwater dud, talking smack to him. But that dude, he didn't make it, right? But he attempted to do something that you talking about the few and the many, right? You talking about the guys who might make it. He swung for the fences and missed, but he swung.
Mhm.
He swung. I don't know what became of him, but I've always looked at that dude as like a straight up hero because he didn't make it. He didn't make SEAL training, but he had the guts to try. And I never forgot that. Like, he had the guts to try, and he came and he still mustered up every day as the dude who tried but failed. That took a lot of that took a lot of guts and integrity to be the guy who tried and failed and still came every day. Like I've always remembered that. Like, yo, that dude, he really showed up for Kentucky. He did. The other thing that was special about it too is when I met him in boot camp, I remember him telling me like, yo, Spivey, my last name, Spivey, man, like, you're like the second black dude I've ever known in my life. And people over the years have been like, yo, that didn't offend you? I was like, no, it didn't offend me, you know? Because if you've traveled, there are a lot of places in America still where, like, you got these small towns. He came from a really small town, there's no Puerto Ricans there, you know? So it's like people need to chill out. Like, a lot of times what you may see as this discrimination, you're really not walking in somebody else's shoes. You know, mm-hmm. So I've that kind of always stuck with me. Like, wow, like a lot of people still have not met, and the world's a big place, man. So, well, whatever we can do to bring the love together, man. Anyway, the time is 9:03. We went over. My bad. The show ends on a positive note. What's the message today from you, great people?
I'll let you go first, man.
I like this. This is my favorite part. It's the De Niro, the rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
Strive for growth.
Reading rainbow, yeah.
I can
Strive
do
for growth.
Strive for growth?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm feeling that. Strive for growth. Ron Scott, good morning.
I would say that it would be don't be afraid to ask for help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strive for growth and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
That's a good growth message.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The time is 9:04. We appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Thank you very much to Chris and Allie for coming back on the show. Learn more about the Road Home program. The link is in the chat. They're also on Instagram, Facebook as well, and they're all over the place. And get ready for all the cool stuff that they do next year. We'll be sure to tell you guys about the great activities that they have. Other than that, it's Monday. Take care of yourself and each other.